Ciao everyone, it's Markettino. As you might remember, last summer I test drove the Alfa Romeo 4C. Honestly, one of the most fun cars I've driven so far. I'm pretty excited to be driving another Alfa model, this time the 4C Spider. I thought it was kind of the same thing as the Coupe, but after having driven it for a couple of days, I found out more positive but also negative sides, so let me tell you 5 reasons to love and hate the Alfa Romeo 4C Spider. The first thing that is impossible not to notice or mention is the style. Whenever you're not driving it, probably you simply want to stare at it because, with its unmistakable sexy lines and curves, the 4C is undoubtedly one of the hottest cars on the market. As much as I think that this car belongs to racetracks and twisty roads, I wouldn't mind to see it showcased in museums because this is simply hot to me. I guess it's time to shut off the background music because even though the 4C is powered by a small 1.75 litre 4-cylinder engine, the sound it makes is simply amazing. The driving experience is one of the keys, if not the main key of the 4C, and as you may imagine, it's pretty exciting to earn around the track. Needless to say that the 4C loves to oversteer, and if I had one, I would be definitely the best friend of tire shops. Behind the wheel, it feels like to be driving a go-kart. It's very communicative and easy to handle. The lightweight makes it also very agile in the corners by proving that you don't need much power to go fast or have fun. After having spent the whole day at Autodromo di Modena with the 4C, I think that my smile says it all. You know, when I get to drive flashy supercars like Ferrari at the beginning, I know that it's inevitable to attract the attention of the people, but I didn't expect it to attract so much attention and interest of the people with the 4C. It's a car that costs 3-4 times less than the most conventional supercars, but at the same time, I think that this car attracts a lot more attention and interest because I don't know how many times I've been stopped while parking or at the traffic lights by people that asked infos about this car. It is a car that you don't see very often and it has a very strong wow factor. They're looking as well. One thing that you really have to learn behind the wheel of the 4C is to make a poker face. Otherwise, you will look like a dumb idiot that smiles all the time. But yeah, it's a car that makes everyone smile. Please be green. Everyone stop watching me. One of the reasons why I love this car, well, is because it's Italian. As Italian, I find rather exciting to see the comeback of a brand such as Alfa Romeo in the making of sports cars. It's a car that shouts Italianness and passion from any angle, and well, there's no self-respecting Italian car with also defeats, so let me tell you also 5 things I dislike in the Alfa Romeo 4C Spider. The cockpit of the 4C Spider is a really nice place to be in. I have to admit that there's some good improvement in terms of quality over the coupe. The carbon fiber tub and the yellow stitching are the icing on the cake. However, I think that for 75,000 euros, the overall quality should be improved more because, let's face it, some parts are literally the same as you will find on a Fiat Panda, and perhaps the contrast between high and low quality materials is pretty noticeable.
Whereas the lack of power assistance makes the 4C very pleasant to drive around racetracks and winding roads, forget about driving it around the city. The first time I drove the 4C, I thought there was something broken, but it's just the steering wheel that is bloody hard. But that's not all, because you always need to keep both hands on the steering wheel. Otherwise, whenever you hit a pothole, the car simply changes direction. You see? And you may understand that it's not that hard to find potholes. As much as I like straight line cars, I have to admit that cruising with the 4C Spider is quite tough, because as you might hear, there is no soundproofing at all. You have the engine right behind and you hear this noise all the time. You can't have a normal conversation inside the 4C. But I'm surprised actually, because with a 4C Spider having a soft roof, I was expecting to hear more wind noise compared to the coupe. But the thing is that this car is so loud that you can't even hear the extra wind noise. It's a good thing that I still keep my Formula 1 hair plugs. Much better.
You may realize that traveling with the 4C is not very practical. The boot of the 4C coupe is quite terrible. Even worse with the Spider, considering that when you fold the roof, well, you gotta throw it somewhere, and that becomes a problem if you already store something. Alfa Romeo has been kind enough to provide me also a useless bag with tire chains that I had no idea where to store, but the good thing is, surprise surprise, you can store a coin down there. But that's not the only issue caused by the roof, because the disassemble and reassemble procedure are that annoying that they just make you want to throw the roof away and wait for the summertime, or for the most hasty ones, grit your teeth and enjoy a cold day. So let's face it, the Alfa Romeo 4C Spider is even less practical than the coupe. But after having driven it about 3000 kilometers, I thought, who cares? It's a car built with no compromises for the maximum driving experience, and with the roof off, I find it even more enjoyable. Spending most of my time with the wind in my hair and the intoxicating 4-cylinder shouting behind my ears made me get flu and headache. But at the end, it was damn worth it. Grazie Alfa Romeo.
No, torni indietro.
Sure, it's not a problem to overtake with so much torque. It's quite impressive because the power delivery is literally instantaneous.